1979 BMW 320i. It's a 4-speed stick shift car, E21. This car was sold originally in Wichita, Kansas, which is where it is still located. We purchased the car from its original owner. Has 123,000 original miles. Car had quite a bit of modification done to it back in the 80s and 90s. This color is Gulf yellow. Some people see it as green, some people see it as yellow. So it is a rare color. It looks really good on the car. The wheels are 3-piece Epsilon. They're a +1 14-inch. Epsilon pioneered the silicone seal between the rim halves. Previously it was pretty much an O-ring BBS had. This is a much more reliable system. The car, the wheels were gold originally, and it looked really good on the yellow car. There's some corrosion on the door. You can see the gray spot in the bottom left there. And it's got some bubbles that are pretty hard to see. A few of them in the bottom right corner of the door there. I don't know if you can see them. The door structure itself seems to be quite solid, and I've got some stills of this that'll be posted. So you can see the jam area there, and the bottom is rust free. There's also some corrosion. Painter said started from the outside here, and it was rubbed through by the trim. The trim is, I believe, stainless steel on these cars, and it's pretty nice condition. The car was repainted about 30 years ago. It was keyed, and they painted it in the original color, and it's still got really good luster to it. A sunroof is manual, and it does work, and it does not leak. The headliner is in good condition. The wink mirror is pretty cool. Takes a little bit to get used to it, but there's a lot of good visibility. This was a cloth seat car originally, and the back seat is all original, and it needs to be reupholstered. There's some tears in the bottom. Got a black towel over it. Or do a seat delete would be kind of cool. The bumpers were originally sticking out farther, and he was going to do a European bumper conversion on this, and that never happened. But he did push the bumpers in, and the bellows, the black trim, if you will, that was in this open area, can no longer be used when you put the bumpers in. He was going to paint it black, but never got that far. The black you see, the little runs there, was seems to be from the factory that they put on underneath. Maybe some undercoating. The exhaust, you can see a little tip there. It's got a Borla muffler with a vibrant resonator. Really good sound with the dual Webers in the exhaust. It's not loud or obtrusive at all. Doesn't drone. Trunk lid's in really good shape. This panel underneath the taillights, it runs behind the tag, is probably the worst area. Well, it is the worst area corrosion wise on the car. You can see over here where there's some scaling going on, and inside the trunk, this panel is maybe 3-4 inches tall, maybe 4 foot long, and it's an L, and the bottom of the L is, you see in here, that ledge. The passenger side is pretty nice shape. On the driver's side, it's got some rust. So that needs to be addressed if when the car is restored, and just replacing that panel might be the simplest way about it. The trunk, it's got some wear and tear. It's been used. It has some surface corrosion underneath. It held some moisture, and that's been it's been all scraped down, the rust killed, and primered. And the bottom of the trunk lid is in good shape. At some point, this was a long time ago, somebody in a parking lot backed into this right rear quarter. I've taken a borescope and looked from the trunk side in through, and it looks like they did a really good job. There's a dent here behind the door, and the rockers on the car, originally this had side skirts on it, and so there's some screws in there where the side skirts were removed, and I think they something happened to one of them during that time, and they weren't available any longer. Mirrors are the Vitelloni Baby Tornadoes. And again, this door is in really good shape. Haven't seen any external corrosion on it at all either. The seats are German Koenig seats. They're obviously buckets. They've got a 15-degree adjustable backrest. They're very well made. Feel great. The car had air conditioning installed when it was new. So you didn't order these cars with AC. It was put on at the port or at the dealership very commonly. So the factory, it was before they started putting factory AC in the cars. The factory designed it along with Bear, and it fits that waterfall really nice. These cars, the M10s, had a super heavy AC compressor bracket, made out of about a 1/4 inch of thick steel welded together, and this car has an aluminum bracket for a Sankyo compressor, so it's ready to be brought back into the air conditioning functional state that it needs a Sankyo compressor, or a Sandon, the modern style. The bumpers are in really nice shape. That is an aluminum bumper. It hasn't been restored, it's just that nice. The accordions on the front, when the bumper was pushed in, it was flexible enough it could be modified, cut, and retained. Headlights on the car are Marshalls. Has H4s on the outer and H1s on the inside. And the white fogs underneath are Marshall 750s. The lights all work with the exception of the white fogs. They need to be troubleshooted. Little clamshell hood. This antenna is a Bosch amplified antenna, which was hot stuff back in the day. So you release the hood, go to the front of the car, pull the hood towards you 3 or 4 inches, and then lift up. It had insulation under the hood at one time. That's gone. The hood's in very good condition. Be real easy to replace that. Fuse box, battery, side draft, Weber's. It has an electric engine fan, which back in 1979 was not stock. Now it is on most cars. Magnecore wires, a ceramic coated header. Has a Jacobs ignition computer and coil. Little guy's a lot of fun. Strut bar, Suspension wise, it has Bilsteins front and rear, sway bars front and rear, and lowering springs. It's just a super fun car to drive. It's easier car to drive than a 002 at the limit. It's got a little bit longer wheelbase. I think it's 1.5 inches longer than a 002. And the car rides real well. It's not harsh at all. Thanks for watching.